Hello, welcome back to the James Ramen Reviews for yet another episode. In today's episode, I'm actually going to be reviewing for you Daaku Maharaaj, which is actually my very first Indian movie cinematic experience that I actually experienced last night at my local cinema in Cineworld in Scotland and stuff like that. And so there's definitely that, and I'll kind of give you my experience and what it felt like to truly experience an Indian movie at the cinema, as well as obviously give you a bit of context into Indian movies and things like that. But just before I do any of that, I'm just going to quickly mention this, that behind me is my LED light sign, but I've decided to have it so that all the colours keep going, changing and stuff like that, because it's interchangeable and things like that. Because in Indian movies get so many flavours in it, so many different genres, and so much all in one go. So it's like, okay, let's just absolutely flash through different colours to kind of mix it up and have a little bit of fun in this video. So there's definitely that. And so with Indian cinema, in the past few months, I want to say there's been this kind of increase of actual Indian movies coming to Netflix, and so it's kind of inspired me to start getting myself into like a completely different type of cinema and start even reviewing it and discussing it and stuff like that. And so the last time we did this was in December with Lucky Bashkar, which I absolutely enjoyed, and sure, I have been enjoying the kind of vibe that Indian cinema presents and how it's completely different to like an American made movie and the way it's structured and everything like that. So there is all of that. And so with this movie Daaku Maharaj, what I will say is that without spoiling it, it's pretty much this guy called Daaku Maharaj, and he is this big action hero guy that's got to take out all the bad guys. He's got to save his family. There's so much tension and chaos and mayhem, and so there's definitely a lot of elements to it, as you kind of expect from an Indian movie. And the movie does run for about 2.5 hours, and so I will give you my thoughts on the movie and the cinematic experience right now. So I'm just gonna say this right off the bat that I absolutely had an absolute blast with Daaku Maharaj, because I just feel like I've been watching those Indian movies at home, but when you go and actually experience this for yourself and absolutely go and experience this inside of a cinema, especially in the format I did, where I did a super screen type of thing where it's a giant Dolby Atmos screen with surround sound and a very wide screen, so that, like, for example, you could actually feel like the gunshots were like right there, and you're like, whoa, whoa, it was like that, right? And then you hear the music starting to build up, and then it's like boom, 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 and you could just actually feel like every single sound was right there, rather than, like, for example, if you're watching it at home, sure, it's loud, but it's not really like absolutely loud like it would be in the cinema. And also the fact that when you go and see this with like especially for me, right, this was technically a packed audience because there were so many Indians in this cinema and this screening I had, which is not a surprise, but it was really cool because what was really cool about this was that it was like they were shouting like Daaku Maharaj, whoa, whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And that really added to the experience. And so there's definitely that, and I absolutely did enjoy this movie. I just feel like I loved the action. I feel like you had the balance of the action, and then there was the drama and the romance and everything. And then there was this one dance number that was really catchy and really entertaining. And when that started playing, and I felt it was actually really loud, it's like if I watched this at home, it would just feel really weird. And so I definitely feel like that. And also, there was a 10-minute intermission, and I actually really do appreciate that because I gave myself that time to take a wee break between everything that was going on, because it gets so crazy and full on that you're like, okay, we need an intermission, and it was about an hour into the movie, so that was cool. So I pretty much just like kind of went to the toilet and got a beer, and pretty much just drank beer at this movie, and I absolutely did enjoy it. And I even remember this time when during the sit and during the movie, right, where I was like this, woohoo! I was like, yeah. And I remember like actually laughing like ha 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 ha. And I was like, nice, nice. Like I was actually really engaged and very interested in this movie. and it gave me all these emotions, and I was really invested in this everything that was going on. And obviously, it's not the most perfect movie because of how an Indian movie is meant to be structured. But overall, I definitely need to do this more often, where I'm going out of my way to absolutely go and watch an Indian movie at the cinema. And the super screen experience was just great, and I just feel like everything like that is just a great thing because it enhances the experience, and also it just gives me something different to watch at the cinema. And so, yeah, that is my kind of thoughts of Daaku Maharaaj. If you like Indian movies as it is, and you really want to go and experience something like that, I definitely recommend this movie. And I would actually give this movie like an 8 out of 10 or 7 or an 8 out of 10. It's pretty decent, pretty above average. And so, yeah, that's my review of Daaku Maharaaj. Something's familiar, but kind of different because I was kind of talking about one of my first ever Indian movie experiences I've ever experienced in my life. So yeah, bye, Daaku Maharaaj.